Okay, good morning, everyone. Let's start our today's session. So, in our yesterday's session, we have discussed about some practical examples for loops and all that. And after that, we had discussed about the particular array topic, right? So, in a detail, we had discussed about whatever ways to create the array. After that, how you can manipulate the array, add elements and all that, push and pop methods, then shift and unshift methods. Okay, right? So that particular topics we had discussed in our yesterday session, right? So today we are going to discuss about JavaScript objects, right? So we know that JavaScript is object oriented, right? So it provides the supports for objects. There are different predefined objects we have. Okay. So we are going to learn about what are the predefined objects, how we can use it. Plus, if I want to create my own object, right? And I want to attach some properties and method, then how can I do that? So that also we are going to discuss in our today's session, right? So let's begin with the introduction of JavaScript objects. So JavaScript is an object-based language. And in JavaScript, almost everything is an object, right? So here, like a Python, in a Python, everything is an object, right? So similarly here in a JavaScript, most probably all the things are in a object form. So a JavaScript object is just a collection of named values. These name values are usually referred to as a properties of the object, right? So suppose say for example, if I take a string, right? So string itself is a JavaScript object and it has a length property. It has two uppercase method, right? So it is not limited up to this. So you can imagine that there are lots of properties and methods are attached with the string object. So when you call a string, so string is an object and it has some properties and methods. So suppose say for example here, we are going to define one txt variable, right? And we are putting a value that is hello world. So it is a dynamically typed programming language or scripting language. So it will verify, yes, it is a string object. Now suppose say if I want to print the length of this particular string, so what I need to write, txt dot length. Similarly, suppose if I want to convert all these letters to the uppercase, then I just need to write txt dot to uppercase. So similarly, in JavaScript, we have a string, date, array, boolean, and math. So these are the particular JavaScript inbuilt objects we have, right? So when we say it's an object, then automatically some predefined properties and methods are attached with it, right? So let's first discuss about these predefined objects and then we move to the user defined objects, right? So first of all, if we discuss a math object, so you can see that here are the properties of a math, right? So square root, if you want to find the square root, pi value, right, returns the natural algorithm, Euler's constant, log if you want to find, log base 10 if you want to find, right? So these are the particular properties related with the math object. After that, these are the particular methods of the math object. You can see if you want to find the maximum, minimum, power, if you want to find the absolute, ceiling, floor, log, right? So these are the particular methods. math object methods we have, right? Similarly, next we have date object. So this is again is a useful object. So date is a data type, right? And the date object manipulates the date and time. So here you can create the constructor of a date object with the new keyword, right? That takes no argument. So date object allows you to get and set year, month, day, hour, minute, seconds, and milliseconds field, right? So suppose say for example, if I want the current date, then I can write where current date is equals to new date, right? So apart from that, you can also fetch the individual data, right? So get date, so return the day of the month, get day, get full year, hour, minute, seconds, milliseconds, right? Get time, so it returns the time in a milliseconds. So sometimes what happens if you want to display some date and time related information on your web page, then you can just go for the date object, right? These are the some another methods. You can also set the date and all that stuff, right? So you can do both the things, right? You can set and get. There are lots of methods related with the date object, right? So according to your requirement, you can just pick up the any one. Okay. Now string object, if we discuss, so string objects are used to work with the text, and it is the series of characters. So here are the ways of creating a string object. Okay. So with the use of new keyword, you can create the string object as well as we are doing in Java. Okay. So this is a string object. There are some properties like length, prototype, constructors, right? So these are the properties related with the string object. There are very few properties we have. After that, we have methods related with the string object. Okay, so these are the different methods. So all these methods are very useful whenever you are manipulating the strings, right? Okay, so up to this, these are the particular predefined objects we have. Array we had discussed in yesterday's session, right? So you can just go for the predefined object according to a requirement. But majority of times we have to create our own objects, right? So when you say the term object, so here is the example that here is one cabinet, right? And in this particular cabinet, there are 3 different files we have with this different names, that is key 1, key 2, key 3. So you can say it's a signed files, right? So every piece of data is stored in its file by the key. And whenever you want to find or add or remove the particular file, then you can do that stuff by its name, right? So this way you can imagine this particular object structure. Now, how to create? So there are 2 ways to create the object, right? So the first is a constructor way, and another one is the object literal way. So we know that whenever we directly put the curly brackets, then it is known as the literal way. Okay. And whenever we are using a new keyword, then it's a constructor way, right? So it is very common. Let user is equals to new object. Let user is equals to blank curly brackets. So what it does, so here one cabinet or one, you can say, object is created, right? Right now the content is empty because we have not put anything in this particular cabinet, and user is reference to this particular object, right? Now, if I want to put something into this particular object, then we have a property. So you can define a property like this. So let user into curly brackets and semicolon at the end, name is equals to John and age is equal to 13, right? So now we have name and age, two properties we have attached with the object user, right? So this way you can attach the properties with the object. And these are the two ways to create the object. One is a constructor way with the new keyword. One is a literal way, just put the curly brackets, right? So whatever way is convenient to you, you can use any of this method to create the object. Okay, now let's move ahead. Here, how you can accessing the object's property. So, okay, we have assigned the properties, name, author, and year to this book object, right? Now, there are two ways to access these properties. So first way is a dot notation and another way is the bracket notation. So you can see over here that suppose if I want to access with the dot notation, so book dot author, here I need to write dot author. So it prints the author name, right? Now suppose if I want to go for the bracket one, then you can just write the object name into bracket a property name in a double inverted comma, right? So these are the two specific way to access the object's property, right? It is very easy. Those who have worked with the object oriented concepts, it is very easy to understand these concepts as well, right? So there are two ways to access the property. One is a dot notation, another way is the bracket notation. So you can observe this example over here. It is very simple example. First, we have assigned some property to the book object, and then we are accessing it. Now, let's play with the methods. Okay, so we have discussed that how to assign the property. So these are the way to assign the property. Now, suppose if I want to create a method for the particular object person. So here my method name is a display name function, right? So if you remember this, it's a ES5 way of calling a function. So yesterday we had discussed in detail. So you have to write a function, bracket, curly brackets, and here your logics. When this function calls, then what you want to perform, right? So whenever I call this function, it should print the name of person, right? So again, there are two different ways to call the function. Similarly, one is a dot notation and another one is the bracket notation, right? So here you can see that person dot display name. So it will call this particular function. Person into bracket double inverted comma display name, and don't forget to put this bracket outside, right? Because we are dealing with the function. Okay, so this particular function will call this display name, and both will print the name of the person, right? So this is a particular way of calling objects method, right? So we have seen that how to create the object, how to access the properties of the object, and how to call the object method, right? Now, let's go for the examples. So you will get the better idea, whatever we had discussed over here. So you can see this. Let me increase the font size. I think it is now visible. Okay. So here, this is very simple example of creating the object in JavaScript. So the same example I took. So first of all, I need to define the object. So let person into brackets, name, age, and gender, right? So whenever you mouse over on this, so you can see it depends on your editor, whatever editor you are using. So person represents these entities. Age is a number. gender is a string, name is a string. So you can observe that automatically it will find the type of this property. Okay, now let's go ahead. So here we also have two ways to display the particular properties. So first is a document.write. So what it will do, it will just print your content on the web page directly. And one is a console.log. So today I will show you how you can use console.log, right? So document.write is a very known method. So person.name. So individual properties you can print over here, or you can just write a person, then also it will print all the three properties. But if you want to access the individual elements properties, then you just need to specify the name of the property. Okay. After that, we have a console.log. Okay. So I just remove the comments and we'll see how and where it will display the output. So simply we are displaying all the three elements properties in a console.log. After that, I'm putting one horizontal line to differentiate the outputs. So as we had discussed yesterday that foreign loop is used to loop through the objects. So for let I in person document.write line. So here I have used another method. Just remember this. Person I is equals to bracket ma br, right? So break line. If you don't put the break line, then also it will print outputs in a different line, right? Okay. So here person into bracket I you have to put. So I have written this logic in a single line. So if you have a single line, similarly, this is also valid in a Java, right? And it is also valid for the if loop also. So if you have a single line logic, then you can write like this. It will perform the logic. So now let's execute this code and see the outputs. Okay. So here you can see that our first output, and this is for loop output. Now, where is the console out? So how you can see the console output? So for seeing the console output, either you have to press F12 or you just need to inspect, right? So here, if you inspect, then here element is there, and besides that, there is a console, right? So here you can observe, okay? So this particular object is created, right? So setting, it is not going to increase the font. Okay. So here you need to just go to the console. And here you will find the object. So which object? So here you can see age 28, gender male, name is a Peter, right? So here you can see that this particular output will be printed over here. Similarly, if you observe that one another property is there. So it is underscore proto underscore, right? And colon object, right? So what happens over here? So whenever you are creating, so yesterday we have seen one another concept, prototype. Okay, so what is this? Prototype is a one object, global object, and it is attached with almost all the objects, right? So what is the use of this prototype? So yesterday we discussed that if you want to add any additional method or a property, right, to any object, then you just use this particular prototype, right? So you have to write the object dot prototype dot name is equals to value, right? So this is the syntax for using the prototype. So what happens over here, whenever we are creating the object using this particular syntax, then what will happen? We are creating a function. So one function is created. Side by side prototype object is there. Okay, so this prototype object is attached with the function. Now what happens? We are creating objects. Suppose object 1, object 2. So this object is an instance of this. This is also the instance of this, right? Instance of. But here it is also attached with the prototype with dot proto property, right? So this is the info link attached with it. Similarly, it is also attached with this, and here is the proto, right? So it contains the overall information about your object, right? So if you click over here at this particular proto, then you can see there are lots of information regarding this object. Lots of information you will find over here, right? So if someone asks you in an interview or someone asks you in your Viva, then what is a proto property, right? So you can explain like this. This is very important and this is very fundamental internal matter, guys, right? So you just need to remember this. That's it. This is about the creating the object and how object behaves in a background. Okay, so this is how this example shows that how you can create the object and how you can print the values. Now here another example I have put. So this is very similar, that there are two notations, dot notation and bracket notation. So how you can access the element? So first of all, you have to create the object. Then if you want a dot notation, then you can just use a dot notation. If you want to access through bracket notation, then you can just go for the bracket notation. So this way you can access the elements, properties of the object. Similarly, now let's discuss about some math objects inbuilt. So here in this example, I have used 4 inbuilt methods, right? So if you execute this code, then it will print the values like this. Okay, so these are the inbuilt methods. So you can, according to your requirement, you can just go for it. Similarly, here we have used some another property, right? Okay. After that, we have date objects. So here we have used a different properties, methods, right? So how you can use a date object? So first of all, you have to store that value in a one variable, that is d, where d is equals to new date. And after that, you can just manipulate it. So suppose if you want to get the hours, day, month, full year, get the minutes, right? So just execute the code. And here you can see that this is our output. So to get the local string, so you can see it will display the date and time as well, and individual properties also you can access, right? So that is with this particular code. It is very simple. You just use variable object dot methods, right? Okay, so now we see the example for how you can set the properties, right? So suppose if I want to change some values, right? Suppose say for example, if I have one object person and here I have name, age and gender, right? So now if I want to set a new property, so how can I do that? So person dot country, so here United States, right? So I can print it. Suppose say I want to add email, right? So I can write like this. Suppose I want to update the existing property. So what I can do, person dot age is equals to 30. So here it is a 28, right? And here person dot age is equals to 30. And then I'm printing it. Suppose I want to change the name of that person, that is Peter Parker. And here we can write person dot name. Okay. Suppose if I want to delete it, then I can use a delete keyword. This is a new one, right? So suppose if you want to delete any property from the object, then you have to use a delete keyword. And after that, which property you want to delete? So person dot email property, right? And then we are printing, then it will not display the email. So let's just execute the code. Why it is undefined? You see over here. First of all, it displays the undefined because alert box is going to be executed first. So here it will not find email because we have deleted it, right? That's why it is not going to display the email. So it display the undefined. When I click OK, here you can see United States, Peter Parker 30 and Peter Parker, right? So this way you can also manipulate the particular object properties. You can set the properties, you can delete the properties, as well as you can update the existing properties, right? So this is the example for it. Okay. Now, one last example I want to discuss here is a prototype. We have already discussed this with the array, right? But suppose if you want to use with any object, so prototype is a global object, so you can use prototype with any object, right? It is not just only limited to the array, right? You can create your own object and then you can do. So here, one another example with passing parameters I'm doing over here. So what I can do, I'm creating one function, that is function, and passing one name parameter over here. We are dealing with the current, so this keyword you already know. This dot my name is equals to name. So one property we are creating, that is name, my name, and one method we are creating, that is tell my name, right? And here we are again creating a function and console dot log this dot my name. Now what we are doing, we are creating two objects. So let object one is equals to new. We are creating a constructor, right? So func, and we are passing the name over here. After that, we are calling a tell my name method. So this is a general way of creating the object property method and calling it, right? So you can understand over here what it will print. It will print gset and BVM, right? So suppose if I execute this code, so here we have used console.log. So I need to just go to the inspect, and in an inspect, I just need to go to the console, and in a console, you will find a gset and BVM over here. Okay. Now, suppose the same thing I want to perform with the prototype. So let's create add my name over here. Now I remove these comments. Okay, so what I did over here, so here in our func, we are only defining the property name, my name, and we are creating a method with the use of prototype, right? So here we are having func, that is our main object dot prototype. So yesterday we had used over here array. If you remember, we had used array yesterday, right? But today we have to use a func because I want to use attach prototype with it. Prototype and tell my name function. The rest of the things is very similar, all the things, right? But the defining way of is a different. Okay, so here is a prototype way, and if I just go for the output, then you can see that here inspect console, and you can see it is apple and orange, right? So this way the prototype is used, right? So I hope up to this everyone is clear with these object concepts, right? So we have discussed almost all the detailed things of related with the objects, right? So